We're going to start with a series of posts called The Story. We'll take a close look at what really happened regarding the U.S. government in pursuit of the much-loved and much-hated President some call 45. Enjoy. Hashtag The Story, post number 1. 2011. U.S. intel community vastly expands its surveillance authority, giving itself permission to spy on Americans who do nothing more than mention a foreign target in a single, discrete communication. Intel officials also begin storing and entering into a searchable database sensitive intelligence on U.S. citizens whose communications are accidentally or incidentally captured during surveillance of foreign targets. Prior to this point, such intelligence was supposed to be destroyed to protect the constitutional privacy rights of U.S. citizens. However, it's required that the names of U.S. citizens be hidden or masked, even from inside U.S. intel agencies, to prevent abuse. The Story, post number 2. July 1st, 2012. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton improperly uses unsecured personal email domain to email President Obama from Russia. June 2013. FBI interviews U.S. businessman Carter Page, who's lived and worked in Russia, regarding his ongoing contacts with Russians. Page reportedly tells FBI agents their time would be better spent investigating Boston Marathon bombing, which the FBI's Andrew McCabe helped lead. Page later claims his remark prompts FBI retaliatory campaign against him. The FBI, under McCabe, will later wiretap Page after Page becomes a Donald Trump campaign advisor. The Story, post number 3, September 4th, 2013. James Comey becomes FBI director, succeeding Robert Mueller. October 2013. FBI secretly records suspected Russian industrial spy Evgeny Buryakov. It's later reported that Carter Page helped FBI build the case, interview, and then work with him. Early August 2014. State Department turns over 15,000 pages of documents to Congressional Benghazi Committee, revealing former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton used a private server for government email. Her mishandling of classified info on this private system becomes subject of an FBI probe. Note: if Americans didn't die in Benghazi, nobody would ever know about her private server except Obama. Late August 2014. Russia invades Ukraine. Ukraine steps up hiring of U.S. lobbyists to make its case against Russia and obtain U.S. aid. Russia also continues its practice of using U.S. lobbyists in Ukraine, lobbyists like Paul Manafort and Tony Podesta. The Story, post number 4, September 2014. Ukraine forms National Anti-Corruption Bureau as a condition to receive U.S. aid. The National Anti-Corruption Bureau later signs evidence-sharing agreement with FBI related to Trump-Russia probe. October 2014. Ukrainian-American Alexandra Chalupa, a paid consultant for the Democratic National Committee, the DNC, begins researching lobbyist Paul Manafort's Russia ties. November 2014. FBI investigates and then wiretaps Paul Manafort for allegedly not properly disclosing Russia-related work. FBI fails to make a case, according to CNN, and discontinues wiretap. A year in solitary confinement, 23 hours a day, and hasn't broke yet. The Story, post number 5, 2015. FBI opens investigation into Virginia Governor Terry McAuliffe, including for donations from a Chinese businessman and Clinton Foundation donor. FBI official Andrew McCabe meets with Governor McAuliffe, a close Clinton ally. Afterwards, McAuliffe-aligned political groups donated about $700,000 to Mr. McCabe's wife for her campaign to become a Democrat state senator in Virginia. The fact of the McAuliffe-related donations to wife of FBI's McCabe while FBI was investigating McAuliffe and Clinton later becomes the subject of conflict of interest inquiry by Inspector General. The Story, Post number 6, February 9, 2015. U.S. Senate forms Ukrainian caucus to further Ukrainian interests. Senator John McCain of Arizona is a member. March 4, 2015. New York Times breaks news about Clinton's improper handling of classified email as Secretary of State. In internal emails, Clinton campaign chairman and former Obama advisor John Podesta suggests Obama withhold Clinton's emails from Congressional Benghazi Committee under executive privilege. March 2015. Attorney General Loretta Lynch privately directs FBI Director James Comey to call FBI Clinton probe a matter rather than an investigation. Comey follows the instruction, though he later testifies that it made him queasy. March 7, 2015. President Obama says he first learned of Clinton's improper email practices through news reports. Clinton campaign staffers privately contradict that claim, emailing, "It looks like President Obama just said he found out Hillary Clinton was using her personal email when he saw it on the news." Clinton aide Cheryl Mills responds, "We need to clean this up. President Obama has emails from Clinton's personal account." May 19, 2015. Justice Department Assistant Attorney General for Legislative Affairs Peter Kadzik emails Clinton campaign chairman John Podesta from a private Gmail account to give him a heads up involving congressional questions about Clinton email. The Story, Post number 7, Summer 2015. Democratic National Committee computers are allegedly hacked. September 2015. Glenn Simpson, co-founder of political opposition research firm Fusion GPS, is hired by conservative website Washington Free Beacon to compile negative research on presidential candidate Donald Trump and other Republicans. This was all related to business dealings in USA only. Beacon never dealt with the dossier or foreign entities. October 2015. President Obama uses a confidentiality tradition to keep his Benghazi emails with Hillary Clinton secret. October 12, 2015. FBI Director Comey replaces head of FBI Counterintelligence Division at New York field office with Louis Bladel. October 22, 2015. Rep. Adam Schiff, Democrat from California, publicly states that Clinton is not under criminal investigation. A lie. October 23, 2015. Clinton testifies to House Benghazi Committee. October 23, 2015. Also, Clinton campaign chair John Podesta meets for dinner with small group of friends, including a top Justice Department official, Peter Kadzik. Late 2015. Democratic operative Chalupa expands her political opposition research about Paul Manafort to include Trump's ties to Russia. She occasionally shares her findings with officials from the Democratic National Committee and the Clinton campaign. December 4, 2015. Donald Trump is beating his nearest Republican presidential competitor by 20 points in the latest CNN poll. December 9, 2015. FBI Director Comey replaces head of FBI Counterintelligence Division at Washington field office with Charles Cable. December 23, 2015. FBI Director Comey names Bill Preistap as Assistant Director of Counterintelligence Division. Preistap was Strzok's boss. The Story, Post number 8, early 2016. Obama officials vastly expand searches through the NSA database for Americans and the content of their communications. In 2013, there were 9,600 searches involving 195 Americans, but in 2016, there are 30,355 searches of 5,288 Americans. Ugly. Justice Department Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr meets with Fusion GPS Christopher Steele, the Yemen-born ex-British spy, leading the anti-Trump political opposition research project. January 2016. Democratic operative Ukrainian-American Chalupa tells a senior Democratic National Committee official that she feels There's a Russia connection with Trump. January 29, 2016. FBI Director Comey promotes Andrew McCabe to FBI Deputy Director. Now both are fired. McCabe takes lead on Clinton probe even though his wife received nearly $700,000 in campaign donations through Clinton ally Terry McAuliffe, who is also under FBI investigation. March 2016. Clinton campaign chair John Podesta's email are allegedly hacked. Actually, it was more likely phished via email due to how sloppy he was with his password. More on this in a different series. FBI interviews Carter Page again. Carter Page is named as one of the Trump campaign's foreign policy advisors. March 2nd, 2016. FBI Director Comey replaces head of Intelligence Division of Washington Field Office with Gerald Roberts Jr. March 11, 2016. Russian Evgeny Buryakov pleads guilty to spying an FBI case that Carter Page assisted with. March 25, 2016. Ukrainian-American operative for Democratic National Committee, DNC, Chalupa, meets with top Ukrainian officials at Ukrainian Embassy in Washington, D.C. to expose ties between Trump, top campaign aide Paul Manafort, and Russia, according to Politico. Chalupa previously worked for the Clinton administration, a setup attempt. Ukrainian Embassy proceeds to work directly with reporters researching Trump, Manafort, and Russia to point them in the right directions, according to an embassy official, though other officials later deny engaging in election-related activities. March 29, 2016. Trump campaign hires Paul Manafort as manager of July Republican Convention. Trump knows about the Podesta ties at this point. March 30, 2016. Ukrainian-American Democratic operative Alexandra Chalupa briefs Democratic National Committee DNC staff on Russia ties to Paul Manafort and Trump. With DNC's encouragement, Chalupa asks Ukrainian embassy to arrange a meeting with Ukrainian President Petro Poroshenko to discuss Manafort's lobbying for Ukraine's former president Viktor Yanukovych. The embassy declines to arrange the meeting, but becomes helpful in trading info and leads. Ukrainian embassy officials and Democratic operative Chalupa coordinate an investigation with the Hillary team into Paul Manafort, according to a source in Politico. This effort reportedly includes working with U.S. media. Bingo. The story, post number 9, April 2016. There's a second breach of Democratic National Committee computers. Washington Free Beacon breaks off deal with Glenn Simpson's Fusion GPS for political opposition research against Trump. Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee lawyer Mark Elias and his law firm Perkins Cole hire Fusion GPS for anti-Trump political research project. Ukrainian member of parliament Olga Blelkova seeks meetings with 6 members of U.S. Congress and reporters, including former New York Times reporter Judy Miller, David Sanger of New York Times, David Ignatius of Washington Post, and Washington Post editorial page editor Fred Hyatt. The setup. April 5th. Convicted spy Buryakov is turned over to Russia. A deal. Week of April 6, 2016. Ukrainian-American Democratic operative Chalupa and Office of Rep. Mary Kaptur, Democrat from Ohio, co-chair of Congressional Ukrainian Caucus, discuss possible congressional investigation or hearing on Paul Manafort and Russia by September. The setup. Chalupa begins working with investigative reporter Michael Isaacoff, according to her later account. April 10, 2016. A national TV interview. President Obama states that Clinton did not intend to harm national security when she mishandled classified emails. FBI Director James Comey later concludes that Clinton should not face charges because she did not intend to harm national security. The cover-up. Around this time, the FBI begins drafting Comey's remarks closing Clinton email investigation, though Clinton had not yet been interviewed. Comey in trouble for this. April 12, 2016. Ukrainian parliament member Olga Blelkova and a colleague meet with Senator John McCain associate David Kramer with the McCain Institute. Blelkova also meets with Liz Zentos of Obama's National Security Council and State Department official Michael Kimmage, the setup. April 26, 2016, investigative reporter Michael Isaacoff publishes story on Yahoo News about Paul Manafort's business dealings with a Russian oligarch. April 28, 2016, Ukrainian-American Democratic operative Chalupa is invited to discuss her research about Paul Manafort with 68 investigative journalists from Ukraine at Library of Congress for Open World Leadership Center, a U.S. congressional agency. Chalupa invites investigative reporter Michael Isaacoff to connect him with the Ukrainians, the setup. After the event, reporter Isaacoff accompanies Chalupa to Ukrainian embassy reception. Smashed. The story, post number 10. May 3rd, 2016. Ukrainian-American Democratic operative Chalupa emails Democratic National Committee, DNC, that she'll share sensitive info about Paul Manafort offline, including a big Trump component that will hit in the next few weeks. May 4, 2016. Trump locks up Republican nomination. May 19, 2016. Paul Manafort is named Trump campaign chair. Chess move. May 23, 2016. FBI probe into Virginia governor and Clinton ally Terry McAuliffe becomes public. McAuliffe is ultimately not charged with a crime cover-up. Also May 23rd, Justice Department Inspector General confirms it's looking into FBI's Andrew McCabe for alleged conflicts of interest in handling of Clinton and Governor McAuliffe probes in light of McAuliffe directing campaign donations to McCabe's wife, now facing grand jury. Late May 2016, FBI officials Lisa Page and Peter Strzok, who are reportedly having an illicit affair, text each other that Trump's ascension in the campaign will bring pressure to finish Clinton probe. Early June 2016, Nellie Orr, wife of Justice Department Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr and former CIA worker, goes on the payroll of Fusion GPS and assists with anti-Trump political opposition research. Her husband Bruce fails to disclose her specific employer and work in his Justice Department conflict of interest disclosures. Nellie Orr applies for a ham radio license. Crazy. Trying to hide communication with Russia. The NSA has everything. The story, post number 11, June 2016. Fusion GPS's Glenn Simpson hires Yemen-born ex-British spy Christopher Steele for anti-Trump political opposition research project. Steele uses info from Russian sources close to Putin to compile unverified dossier later provided to reporters and FBI, which the FBI uses to obtain secret wiretap. The Guardian and Heat Street report that the FBI applied for a FISA warrant in June 2016 to monitor 4 members of the Trump team suspected of irregular contacts with Russian officials, but that the initial request was denied. June 7, 2016. Hillary Clinton locks up the Democrat nomination. June 9, 2016. Meeting in Trump Tower includes Donald Trump Jr., Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort, and Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner with Russian lawyer who was said to have political opposition research on Clinton. No research was ultimately provided. According to CNN, the FBI has not yet restarted a wiretap against Manafort, but will soon do so. The setup. June 10, 2016. Democratic National Committee, DNC, tells employees that its computer system has been hacked. DNC blames Russia, but refuses to let FBI examine its systems. The cover-up. June 15, 2016. Guccifer 2.0 publishes first allegedly hacked document from Clinton campaign chair John Podesta. More on alleged hacks later. June 17, 2016. Washington Post publishes front-page story linking Trump to Russia, inside Trump's financial ties to Russia and his unusual flattery of Vladimir Putin. The setup. June 20, 2016. Christopher Steele proposes taking some of Fusion GPS's research about Trump to FBI. June 22, 2016. WikiLeaks begins publishing embarrassing, allegedly hacked emails from Clinton campaign and Democratic National Committee. June 27, 2016. Attorney General Loretta Lynch meets privately with former President Bill Clinton on an airport tarmac in Phoenix, Arizona. The cover-up. Late June 2016. DC Leaks website begins publishing Democratic National Committee emails. The National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine signs evidence-sharing agreement with FBI and will later publicly release a ledger implicating Paul Manafort in allegedly improper payments. He was hiding from taxes. June 30, 2016. FBI circulates internal draft of public remarks for FBI Director Comey to announce closing of Clinton investigation. It refers to Mrs. Clinton's extensive use of her personal email, including from the territory of sophisticated adversaries, and a July 1, 2012 email to President Obama from Russia. The draft concludes that it's possible that hostile actors gained access to Clinton's email account. Comey's remarks are revised to replace reference to the president with the phrase another senior government official. That reference, too, is removed from the final draft. Attorney General Lynch tells FBI she plans to publicly announce that she'll accept whatever recommendation FBI Director Comey makes regarding charges against Clinton, the cover-up. Was she going to become a Supreme Court judge if Hillary won? The story, post number 12, July 2016. Ukraine Minister of Internal Affairs Arsen Avakov attacks Trump and Trump campaign advisor Paul Manafort on Twitter and Facebook, calling Trump an even bigger danger to the U.S. than terrorism. Former Ukrainian Prime Minister Arseniy Yatsenyuk writes on Facebook that Trump has challenged the very values of the free world. Carter Page travels to Russia to give a university commencement address. Fusion GPS political opposition research would later quote Russian sources as saying Page met with Russian officials, which Page denies under oath and is not proven. One-time CIA operative Stefan Halper begins meetings with Trump advisors Carter Page and George Papadapolous, secretly gathering information for the FBI. These contacts begin prior to the date FBI Director Comey later claimed the Russian investigation began. The setup. July 1st, 2016. Under fire for meeting with former President Clinton amid the probe into his wife, Attorney General Lynch publicly states she'll accept whatever FBI Director Comey recommends without interfering. She told Comey months prior to say Clinton matter instead of Clinton investigation. FBI official Lisa Page texts her boyfriend, FBI official Peter Strzok, sarcastically commenting that Lynch's proclamation is a real profile in courage, since she knows no charges will be brought. July 2nd, 2016. FBI official Peter Strzok and other agents interview Clinton. They don't record the interview. Two potential suspects of the investigation, Cheryl Mills and Heather Samuelson, are allowed to attend as Clinton's lawyers. July 5th, 2016. FBI Director Comey recommends no charges against Clinton, though he concludes she's been extremely careless in mishandling of classified information. Comey claims he hasn't coordinated or reviewed his statement in any way with Attorney General Lynch's Justice Department or other government branches. They do not know what I'm about to say, says Comey. Fusion GPS's Steele, an ex-British spy, approaches FBI with allegations against Trump, according to congressional investigations. The setup. Days after closing Clinton case, FBI official Peter Strzok signs document opening FBI probe into Trump-Russia collusion. The setup. July 10, 2016. Democratic National Committee DNC aide Seth Rich, a Bernie Sanders supporter, is shot twice in the back and killed. Police suspect a bungled robbery attempt, though nothing was apparently stolen. Conspiracy theorists speculate that Rich, not the Russians, had stolen DNC emails after he learned the DNC was unfairly favoring Clinton. The murder remains unsolved. Once FBI corruption is proven, this will surface. July 2016. Trump advisor Carter Page makes a business trip to Russia. FISC, Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, rejects FBI request to wiretap Page until dossier is added to the garbage FISA application. Obama National Security Advisor Susan Rice begins to show increased interest in National Security Agency NSA intelligence material, including unmasked Americans' identities, according to news reports referring to White House logs. The setup. July 18 to 21, 2016. Republican National Convention. Late July 2016. FBI agent Peter Strzok opens counterintelligence investigation based on Trump campaign advisor George Papadapolous. The setup. Democratic operative and Ukrainian-American Chalupa leaves the Democratic National Committee, DNC, to work full-time on her research into Manafort, Trump, and Russia, and provides off-the-record guidance to a lot of journalists. The setup. July 22, 2016. WikiLeaks begins publishing hacked Democratic National Committee emails. WikiLeaks' Julian Assange denies the email source is Russian. He suggests Seth Rich is. July 25th to 28, 2016. Democratic National Convention. July 31st, 2016. FBI begins counterintelligence investigation regarding Russia and Trump. The setup.
Having visions of Atlantis.
The story, post number 13, August 2016. Nellie Orr, wife of Justice Department Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr, is still on the payroll of Fusion GPS. Fusion GPS's Christopher Steele, a British citizen, briefs FBI leadership on his anti-Trump political opposition research. Weeks later, the info makes it to FBI agent Peter Strzok and his team, according to the New York Times. The setup. August 4, 2016. Ukrainian ambassador to the U.S. writes op-ed against Trump. Ukraine keeps pushing. August 14, 2016. New York Times breaks story about cash payments made a decade ago to Paul Manafort by pro-Russia interests in Ukraine. The ledger was released and publicized by the National Anti-Corruption Bureau of Ukraine. The squeeze on Manafort officially begins. August 15, 2016. CNN reports the FBI is conducting an inquiry into Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort's payments from pro-Russia interests in Ukraine in 2007 and 2009. After a meeting discussing the election in FBI Deputy Director Andrew McCabe's office, the FBI's Lisa Page and Peter Strzok text of needing an insurance policy in case Trump is elected. The setup. August 19, 2016. Paul Manafort resigns as Trump campaign chairman. Served 4 months in an 18-month campaign. Ukrainian parliament member Sergei Lashenko holds a news conference to draw attention to Paul Manafort and Trump's pro-Russia ties. Ukraine keeps pushing. Late August 2016. Reportedly working for the FBI, one-time CIA operative Professor Stefan Halper meets with Trump campaign co-chair Sam Clovis, offering his services as a foreign policy advisor, according to the Washington Post. Halper would later offer to hire Carter Page, the setup, the spy, same guy who tried to set up Papadapolous and Page. Late August 2016. The FBI initiates a new wiretap against ex-Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort, according to CNN, which extends at least through early 2017. Wiretap is a key phrase.
Visions of Atlantis. Teddy's on, spinning for the dumb niggas. Pray a man, having visions of Atlantis.
The story, post number 14, September 2016. Fusion GPS's Steele becomes FBI source and uses Associate Deputy Attorney General Bruce Orr as point of contact. Steele tells Orr that he's desperate that Donald Trump not get elected. President Obama warns Russia not to interfere in the U.S. election. September 2, 2016. FBI officials Lisa Page and Peter Strzok text that President Obama wants to know everything we're doing. September 13, 2016. The nonprofit First Draft, funded by Google, whose parent company is run by major Hillary Clinton supporter and donor Eric Schmidt, announces initiative to tackle fake news. It appears to be the first use of the phrase in its modern context. September 15, 2016. Clinton computer manager Paul Gambetta appears before House Oversight Committee but refuses to answer questions invoking his Fifth Amendment rights. September 19, 2016. At UN General Assembly meeting, Ukrainian President Poroshenko meets with Hillary Clinton. Mid to late September 2016. Fusion GPS's Christopher Steele's FBI contact tells him the agency wants to see his opposition research right away and offers to pay him $50,000, according to the New York Times, for solid corroboration of his salacious, unverified claims. Steele flies to Rome, Italy to meet with the FBI and provide a full briefing. September 22, 2016. Clinton computer aide Brian Pagliano is held in contempt of Congress for refusing to comply with subpoena. September 23, 2016. It's revealed that Justice Department has granted 5 Clinton officials immunity from prosecution: former Chief of Staff Cheryl Mills, State Department staffers John Bentel and Heather Samuelson, and Clinton computer workers Paul Gambetta and Brian Pagliano. Yahoo News publishes article by Michael Isaacoff about Carter Page's July 2016 trip to Moscow. The article is apparently based on leaked info from Fusion GPS Steele anti-Trump dossier political opposition research. September 26, 2016. Obama administration asks Secretive Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Court, FIS Court, to allow National Counterterrorism Center to access sensitive, unmasked intel on Americans acquired by FBI and NSA. The court later approves the request, the setup in accordance with Brennan. September 27, 2016. Justice Department Assistant Attorney General of National Security Division John Carlin announces he's stepping down. He was former Chief of Staff and Senior Counsel to former FBI Director Robert Mueller. End of September 2016. Fusion GPS's Glenn Simpson and Christopher Steele meet with reporters including New York Times, Washington Post, Yahoo News, The New Yorker, and CNN or ABC. One meeting is at Office of Democratic National Committee General Counsel. Thanks for reading and are participating in this series of posts. We are living in some trippy times.